What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today, we're going to talk about how to upgrade an AR-15 on a budget. Maybe you have a budget-friendly rifle like this Bear Creek Arsenal here, and you want to upgrade it on a budget, and that's what I'm going to tell you, give you some ideas, some of my experience and what I think. I'm in the middle of reviewing this rifle. I want to see how long a Bear Creek Arsenal rifle will last. My goal is to get to 5,000 rounds, or until it breaks. We can check out the wear and tear on it and look at it close up. If you want to see that video, the link is up here or up there, but I think it's up here. Either way, the link is up there if you want to go check that out after this video. So lots of good ways of upgrading AR-15. Some of them are must-haves, in my opinion. Some of them are nice-to-haves, and we're going to talk about the must-haves first. To keep in mind, get the best rifle you can possibly afford. If that means if you can truly only afford a $400 or $500 rifle, so be it. Rock it, get out there, own it, upgrade in the future if you need to, but get the best rifle you can possibly afford. Also, keep in mind, a lot of these upgrades will cost as much in total, as much if not more than the rifle, so keep that in mind when you're selecting your rifle as well. All right, number one most important is going to be ammo and training. A lot of people don't take this into consideration when they get a rifle. You are not good if you just buy an AR-15, go home with a magazine and a box of ammo. You are not ready to defend, protect, whatever you need to. You are not ready. The first couple of years I owned guns, I look back at that footage and it's cringy. You need to get out and to get some training, go to the range, not just an indoor class. You need to move, find a good instructor, get some time behind the gun and practice and make yourself better. By far, that is number one. Number two is going to be some sort of sights. You know, most AR-15s don't come with an optic, or even a lot of the budget-friendly ones don't even come with iron sights. Like this Bear Creek Arsenal did not come with anything. So you're going to need some way to aim the gun, or you can just spray and pray, but I don't recommend that at all. Budget-friendly optics have come a long way as far as quality. You can get a very, very good quality budget-friendly optic for your AR-15 without spending too much over a good set of iron sights. So I typically would lean towards or recommend getting a budget-friendly red dot or prism optic or something like that. If you look on my channel under the optics category, there are a ton of videos on budget-friendly optics, plenty on expensive ones as well, but there's a ton of budget-friendly optics. A couple brands I would check out. This here is a Gideon Optics Prism. I have a few Gideon red dots as well. If you don't know the difference, the videos will explain them all. But Gideon is a newer company that's coming a long way and putting out some good quality budget-friendly optics. Primary Arms Optics is probably the best and most well-known when it comes to budget-friendly red dots and low-power variable optics. They bring the value, they bring good quality, great reticles. Swamp Fox Optics is another one. I've reviewed a bunch of their red dots, budget-friendly, good quality. Holosun is the last one I'm going to mention. Holosun's a little more expensive than some of those on the list, but again, good quality, ton of innovation in there. So there's others. Those are the four off the top of my head that I would consider, but you will need a way of aiming. All right, I put a sling next, and I think most people wouldn't put a sling third and may not agree with me, and that's okay if you don't. But as a new shooter, I highly recommend you get a sling. Now you can get the ammo and the optic first and get the sling third. It's not a necessity, but it's very, very important, I think. You need to make sure that rifle stays on you, make sure nobody grabs it, takes it from you. It makes it just a lot easier. So some sort of sling, and they're not terribly expensive. There's a lot of good ones out there. Flatline Fiberco, Blue Force Gear, A&R Design has a great sling now. There's a ton of them out there. But I think a sling is very important. This adapter that you see on here is a Neomag Sentry Strap. Definitely not a necessity, very much a nice to have, but it's a very nice product. It's a sling staging device. A magnet holds the sling up against the rifle nice and neat so it doesn't get snagged coming in and out of the car or your cruiser if you're an officer or you're safe, whatever. Getting that rifle snagged is a pain and could be deadly. So this stays in place with a magnet. You just give the sling a little tug and you can deploy your sling. Simple as that. The Neomag Sentry Strap is pretty dope. Fourth, I'm going to say magazines. So most guns don't come with, not most, some AR-15s don't come with magazines. If they do, it's probably only one or two, assuming you're buying a budget-friendly AR-15, of course. So you're going to need, even if it comes with three, you're probably going to want to grab a couple magazines. Now these are Magpul P-Mags. They've been around forever. There's a bunch of different versions, but they are the most well-known, reliable, most tested, most common. You can pick them up, you know, sub $15 when you find them on sale. Those are fantastic mags. That particular one is a 10-round magazine because I live in the awful state of Rhode Island, but you can also get them in 30, 40, bigger as well. But I for home defense, self-defense, I say stick with the 30 rounds. These magazines I'm testing, they're from Mission First Tactical. They put out a set of clear AR-15 magazines. I have about a dozen of them. I have a couple hundred rounds through all dozen of them. I've done some destructive testing and they're holding up extremely well. Actually, Mission First Tactical is... This video is brought to you by Mission First Tactical. I'll say it that way with these new YouTube rules. Mission First Tactical has a ton of budget-friendly, good quality AR-15 accessories and backpacks and holsters and that type of stuff. Sights, furniture, magazines, all sorts of goodies for your AR-15. These mags are normally 25 beans. The discount code I have for Mission First Tactical is TG20. That saves you 20% on anything on the MFT website, whether it be mags or sights or furniture or whatever else you need. Also want to thank Natchez. They are, I can't say that anymore. They have you covered for all of your accessories for your blasters. So if you need optics or slings or sights or furniture or anything like that, pews, that type of stuff, they have you covered. The link to both Natchez and MFT is down you know where if you want to check anything out. I appreciate it. Next up, I want to talk about lights. Now, I was kind of torn whether I put this on a must-have or not. At first, I was like, yes, absolutely. Bad things happen at night. It is a must-have. But if somebody is truly on a budget, that's a tough one if you can't quite afford a light. But there are some good quality, affordable lights. For example, this is a Streamlight rifle light. Good quality, affordable lights. I love Streamlight pistol lights, and I think their rifle lights are good. I'm okay rocking them, using them. Not a big fan of Olight, mostly because they explode. And the way they advertise, their advertising and marketing drives me insane. I can't stand it. Inforce is decent as well for a rifle light, for a budget-friendly rifle light. Then the other options are a lot more expensive. Whether you go Arisaka, Modlite, Cloud, Surefire, they're all good. They all have pros and cons, but those are all very expensive. So budget-friendly light, Streamlight is what I would recommend first, with those other brands being second. But now this introduces a whole slew of training that you're going to need, because it's not as simple as putting a light on your gun and going to it, because you could be giving your position away, accidentally pressing the light. So again, if you put a light on your gun, which I recommend, now there's more training. You're going to need some low light training. So there's so much to it. All right, next we're going to talk about furniture. And right away, furniture is 100 or 99% nice to have. There's nothing I can't do with the furniture that came with it compared to the furniture that I put on here. The furniture I put on here is nicer. I like it more. It feels better. It makes it a little easier to manipulate the gun in some ways. 100% not necessary. This was the standard grip it came with. This is the standard stock. They're fine. The stock's adjustable. There's nothing wrong with it. But I had a Magpul CTR, whatever it stands for, laying around. I had it in the bin. It's a much nicer stock, a little bit nicer pad, a little bit tighter lockup. Again, not a necessity, but it looks better, it feels better, so I put it on there. The grip is something I'm testing. I love this grip. This is the first time I've ever used a grip from Die Free Co. They have what's called the Kung Fu grip. Check out that packaging. Their packaging is awesome. Focus camera. They did such a good job with their packaging, and somebody in marketing, I appreciate that. But the grip has a really good texture to it. It's a very neutral angle, so I love the way it feels. Again, not necessity, but I love the way it looks, love the way it feels. I also upgraded the charging handle for the 100th time. It's a nice to have. It's not a mandatory. The charging handle that came with it is fine. If you're going to put a low power variable optic on here, then it is nice to have an oversized charging handle, but it's not necessary at all, especially with the small red dot. This charging handle is from Next Level Armament. Again, good quality, budget friendly. I had it laying around, so I threw it in there. It is oversized, it's AMB, it makes running the gun a lot easier than the standard charging handle. With that said, I could make anything do with the standard charging handle. I didn't put trigger on here. Now you could easily upgrade the trigger, and there are some good affordable triggers like ALG out there. Definitely not a necessity. The one that's in here is fine to me. Same thing with the bolt release and the mag release. I don't see a need to upgrade those. I don't think it really helps anything. Muzzle device, Not really a necessity. If the reason I wanted to mention, if your muzzle device that came with your gun is huge and it's loud and obnoxious, then you might want to change it out to something a little more neutral. If you're running suppressed, a quick detach muzzle device, but if you're running suppressed, get a better rifle anyway, so I don't think that really matters. The BCG, however, I do want to mention the BCG because that's important. Your BCG is your heart of your rifle, your heart, your soul. If something's going to break, there's a very, very, if I can get this pin out, a very, very good chance it's going to be a BCG. So with a budget-friendly rifle comes a budget-friendly BCG, and you can upgrade one that has better material, better staking, better bolts, better whatever. But again, your price you're spending is up there. So what I recommend is just get a replacement bolt. If something's going to break, chances are it's going to be the budget-friendly bolt. So if you have a backup bolt at least, you'll be covered for most things that may pop up. Last tip I have for you, last two tips. Most budget-friendly guns like this one do not use Loctite on the screws, and these screws are going to come loose. It's just inevitable. So the screws on your handguard, the screws on your grip, take them out, add a little bit of non-permanent Loctite, put it back in there. Trust me, I've seen so many handguards and grips and castle nuts come loose at training classes. It happens all the time. Speaking of castle nuts, in the original video I did, this castle nut is not staked, and I was like, oh my god, please, if you own a budget-friendly gun, go stake your castle nut. That's like building an AR-15 101, and I was shocked how many comments I got about how that was not necessary. I couldn't disagree with you more strongly. People are like, well, if it loosens up, just tighten it up. If it loosens up, your gun's down, it's dead, and if you need it in an emergency. So I didn't stake this castle nut on purpose just to see what would happen, and guess what? It keeps on coming loose. No surprise. Stake your castle nut. Please, please, please stake your castle nut. The other idea I have, if you want to make the gun look unique, look a little nicer if it's a budget-friendly gun, make it look like yours, you can spray paint the rifle. I have spray painted dozens of rifles. I love doing it. It's fun, it's unique, it's a good way of making the gun look like your own. Sky's the limit on colors and patterns. I've done tan and OD green and rainbow because I lost a bet years ago, black. We are actually about to spray paint this rifle. My friends at Brownells sent some of their Alumahide paint in, which is great paint. Duracoat also makes this I don't know if it has a name, but this spray paint is great as well. But we're going to use this Brownell spray paint. I have a matte black and I have a dark gray. So we're going to paint it dark gray. I've never done a rifle gray. We're going to paint it dark gray. We're going to do black accents on it. It's going to be a gray and black themed gun. So it's going to be pretty subtle, nothing crazy bright. Good for the area that I'm in, especially at night. I am going to take off most of the accessories because they're black and I want them to stay black. And the key here is just to make sure no spray paint gets inside the action. So make sure nothing gets where the BCG is or in the magazine well, down the barrel. I'm going to tape off the muzzle device even though it's not really necessary. The barrel can get paint on it. It will burn off, no big deal. But that's what I'm going to do. And through the magic of television, you will see a fully painted rifle here in just a second. You ready? It came out pretty darn good. For something I did super quick in my backyard within just a few hours, I don't know, it looks pretty good. Something to give the rifle a little more uniqueness, a little bit more aesthetics, something, especially when it's a budget-friendly rifle and it's not the best looking thing in the world, just gives it a little pizzazz and a little uniqueness. So I'm happy the way it came out, especially for the cost of just a few cans of spray paint. Again, just gives it a little bit more unique. Again, I already done a dedicated video on with more detail on how exactly I did this. So if you want to know the do's and the don'ts and the mistakes I've made and the lessons I've learned from spray painting about a dozen rifles, that video is up on my channel. You can check it out. Once again, let me remind you, get the best rifle you can afford. If that means it's a $400 or $500 Bear Creek Arsenal, so be it. If you can go up to like a PSA or an Aero, Precision, or something a little nicer, then do it. Get the best rifle you can afford. Keeping in mind, you're going to need ammo, training, an optic or sights of some sort, magazines. A light is a good idea. Sentry strap from Neomag is absolutely mandatory. A sling is a great idea. But keep in mind, there's things you're going to need. There's plenty of things you're going to want, but there's things you're going to need with ammo and training should be in the top of that list along with an optic. Anyway, before you go, let's thank Bear Creek Arsenal. Their support is appreciated. Streamlight, Gideon, Neomag, Next Level Armament, Dye Free Code Gear, Magpul. All these companies have been supporting me. They're great. Brownells for the spray paint, greatly appreciated. That paint is much better than most of the paint you're going to get at the your local Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. Natchez, the biggest supporter of the Tiberius Gibb channel. The I can't say that. Mission Fresh Tactical. Thanks to them, this video is possible. I don't know how to say these things anymore. The code is TG20. Saves you 20% on anything you buy from the MFT website. And they have a lot of great ways of upgrading, budget-friendly, good quality ways of upgrading an AR-15. All right, that's all I got for you. Thank you for watching. It is greatly appreciated. For you new shooters out there, hopefully I helped you out a little bit. If for you experienced shooters who are still watching this video, why are you still watching it? No, if you have any other tips, tricks, or anything I forgot, please drop it down in the comments so we can all learn together. Now, you gotta like the video and you gotta subscribe. You're required. I need you to. I will beg, borrow, bleed, threaten, borrow, threaten you if you don't subscribe to the channel. This video is going off the rails, so I'm gonna end. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe is what I'm trying to say. I'll see you in the next video. Be good. Peace.